Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now I know you are confused as to why this is the title of the video, but watch it till the end and allow me to explain. Hold up, before that, almost 80% of you aren't subscribed to the channel yet. So get subscribed, like the video and share the video at the end if you like what you saw. Thank you, and moving on to the video. Alright, now before starting the video, if you haven't seen the initial impressions of the Zephyrus G15 on my channel, I recommend that you watch that first and then come back to the channel because they are in a sync. Alright, so let me kick off this review by talking about the design of Zephyrus G15. I have never seen a laptop this beautiful that performs this well in this kind of a package. It comes in the Moonlight White and the dark grey version. I don't know the name of the color, but I bought the Moonlight White version and it looks fantastic on camera and off camera. It looks like it's glowing in a way, So yeah, it looks like the MacBook of gaming laptops. It is thin, it is light, it's powerful, and it is made out of polycarbonate and magnesium alloy. Now, I haven't seen any other laptop that comes even close to this in terms of performance, in terms of battery life, or in terms of design. So this laptop has a great design, but it comes with its sacrifices. Now, the 8000 holes at the back of the lid, they can get dust and grime into them easily. So if you're not careful, the dust might get into it. The other thing that annoys me is that the laptop display creaks while opening. So it is built well, but not as well as the MacBook quality and the MacBook it is replacing. Moving on, let's talk about the display of this notebook. This has a 165Hz 3 millisecond WQHD panel which comes with 100% DCI-P3 coverage. Now it matches the Dell XPS or the MacBook it's replacing right now, only to be seconded by the contrast ratio and the brightness of the panel. So yeah, it is an excellent panel, and compared to the upcoming M16 or the Lenovo Legion 5 Pro, I'm sure it will hold its ground against those big boys. Moving on to the backlight bleed on this Zephyrus G15, it is present, yes, it is present in the top left corner of the display, but it is not as noticeable in regular use. It is noticeable if you're watching movies or if you're just watching a black wallpaper at high brightness levels, but yeah, it is not a major concern for me. This display goes up to 350 nits, so if you require a brighter display like 500 nit display that the Zephyrus M16 or the Lenovo Legion 5 Pro offers, you can go with those laptops again. But yeah, if you want a good display that is bright enough for indoor usage and little bit of outdoor usage, the Zephyrus G15 is the better contender, especially because of its price. Now that we have talked about the display, let's talk about the performance this laptop offers, and it blows through workloads like no other. It does all of this while staying cool to the touch because it has ventilation present below the AWSD keys and on the right side of the keyboard deck. These performance gains come due to the liquid metal applied on the CPU and the good amount of thermal paste present on the GPU. So this laptop scores a casual 12,700 plus on Cinebench R23. Now that is in line to what I would expect from a 35-watt Ryzen 9 5900HS. But if you want more performance, like the Lenovo Legion 5 Pro offers 13,500 points on Cinebench R23. That is 6% more performance for a cost that is almost 20,000 rupees more than the Zephyrus G15. So in my opinion, this performs well, and that 6% performance difference with the Lenovo Legion 5 Pro offers, I don't think it will be that noticeable in day-to-day use. So yeah, this is an excellent system for the price, and the performance it offers is on par with the highest in gaming laptops. Now moving on to the GPU side, this has the RTX 30 inside. This is the Max-Q variant. If you want to know the performance difference between the RTX 30 and RTX 3070, I would say that just add 10 more FPS like to AAA games like Cyberpunk, and add 50 more FPS to, let's say, CSGO and Valorant. Alright, so keeping that in mind, let's talk about the performance of this laptop. Alright, so I don't have many games in my Steam library as of now. I'll be making another video regarding that pretty soon, so get subscribed if you don't want to miss it. Now, I have tested CSGO, and CSGO scored around 240 FPS on average in the Electrical FPS benchmark. So it is not one of the highest scores I have seen, but this is due to the lack of the mux switch and presence of NVIDIA Optimus on this laptop. So you can disable Optimus by connecting to one of the USB-C ports. They are directly connected to the GPU. So while I connected to the USB-C port and to an external monitor, it scored a 440 FPS average. So that is 98% performance left on the table due to lack of mux switch. So if you want highest performance numbers and highest scoring benchmarks in games like CSGO, I would say look at a laptop that has a mux switch like the Lenovo Legion 5 Pro. The performance difference I mentioned right now is only applicable to gaming. Rendering video and doing other stuff, it does not show that much of a performance difference due to lack of mux switch. So if you are rendering video, like I rendered a 10-minute 1080p video with titles and color correction applied, it took about 4.5 minutes for a 10.5-minute video. So yeah, it is almost 10 to 15 minutes faster than the MacBook Pro it's replacing. Also, I'll be making a MacBook Pro versus the Zephyrus comparison. So if you don't want to miss it, get subscribed to the channel. With great performance comes great battery. That is the same, unless it doesn't. This one scores about 10 to 10.5 hours of regular use on the Vega integrated graphics. And the Vega integrated graphics is pretty good for everyday stuff like watching 4K or 1440p video on the native resolution of the display, or doing everyday stuff like watching movies or something. The impressive battery life on this laptop is also the effect of the 90 watt battery present inside the laptop. That is a huge battery for a 15-inch gaming notebook, and yeah, it performs very well. In short, the battery on this laptop is actually respectable and matches a few ultrabooks. You can also charge this laptop via the 60 to 65 watt USB-C chargers like the OnePlus or the MacBooks via the USB Type-C ports while you are inside class, so you don't have to carry the humongous chungus of a power brick that the 200 watt power brick is. Now let's talk about the other aspects of this laptop, that is the keyboard. Now the keyboard on this laptop feels like the cheap membrane keyboards you have used in past years, like 1000 rupees ones found on Amazon and all. So it doesn't feel quite good for this kind of money. So if you type a lot and you game a lot, I would say that look into the optical mechanical switches of the Strix car laptops. The trackpad on the Zephyrus G15 is on point. It has a great tracking surface with a glass top trackpad. So yeah, it works quite well. And it is not as good as the MacBook Pro it's replacing. It has a bigger trackpad and a better trackpad in my opinion. But it is on point. It is one of the best Windows trackpads you can find, only seconded by the Dell XPS. Talking about the speakers, it performs well. It performs like the 13-inch MacBook Pro it's replacing. It does not have the bass which Asus promised it would deliver because of the two force cancelling subwoofers. So it is adequate, but not at the 16-inch MacBook Pro level. The top function row of this keyboard is something I have beef with because it has the Aura RGB key on a white backlit keyboard, so it doesn't make sense to me. Also, it has a sleep key, a dedicated sleep key, but the laptop already does go to sleep when you shut down the lid. Moving on, let's address some of the problems I have had while owning this device and using this device as my daily driver for the past week and a half or so. So the first issue I had was the battery drain issue. I put the laptop on sleep at night at around 80% charge, and when I woke up it was at 2%. Now that was because the RTX 3060 GPU was on the entire night because Asus Armor Grade did not disable it in software. So yeah, if you're using this laptop as an everyday daily driver, I would say that you should check if the GPU is off or not, because if it is not, it will cause significant amount of battery drain and your laptop will only last about 2 hours on battery. The second issue I had with this laptop was about the Bluetooth disconnection problems. Windows automatically disabled the Bluetooth card for some reason. So every time the laptop goes to sleep for over 6 hours or 7 hours, I have to reinstall the Bluetooth drivers just to get Bluetooth working. So yeah, it is a minor annoyance for me, and it can be a major annoyance for you if you don't know how to reinstall drivers on your laptop. And the last major annoyance I had with this laptop was due to the Wi-Fi 6 card present on this laptop. Now it only gives me about 20 Mbps on my 44 Mbps line. The MacBook Pro it is replacing gave me about 44 Mbps on the 44 Mbps line. Alright, so why do I call this laptop the masterpiece of compromise? Now that is because it puts in lower TDP components for the sake of thinness and because of the good look. It also sacrifices on the performance of its components already present inside the chassis by not including the mux switch and relying on NVIDIA Optimus. It does make up for the lack of a mux switch by providing excellent battery life on battery power, but yeah, it compromises performance for that. There are other compromises in the Zephyrus G15 as well, but I'm sure you would have guessed it by now. In all, the Zephyrus G15 makes the right compromises which made it the daily driver for me and has the potential to be yours as well. So that concludes my Zephyrus G15 review. If you like the video, please get subscribed and like the video and share the video with your friend. I will also be comparing the Zephyrus G15 to the Lenovo Legion 5 Pro when it launches in India. I won't be buying it, but I'll be comparing it based on specs and other reviews impressions. Alright guys, stay tuned to the channel for more content, and yeah, that is all. See you all in the next one. Bye.